I'm Adam Bunnell, online metabolic specialist and founder of the 1%, the #1 online fat loss coaching program in the United States for men who refuse to settle for average. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how we've used a method called metabolic priming to help over 1,100 men lose 20, 30, even 40 pounds while eating more food than they started. And not just lose weight, but get absolutely shredded while eating more food, doing less cardio, and actually having energy left over for their families. But here's what makes this different. I'm not just going to tell you that it works. I'm going to show you exactly why it works using data, real science, and the exact process we use with every single client. By the end of this presentation, you're going to understand more about your metabolism than 99% of personal trainers and doctors. And you're going to know exactly why you've been stuck and what to do about it. This is for men who've tried everything. Keto, carnivore, personal trainers, hours of cardio, men who have the discipline and the work ethic, but can't figure out why nothing you do works. If that's you, pay very close attention to what I'm about to show you. Here is where you're currently at. You're probably eating under 2,000 calories as we speak. Maybe you're doing cardio 3, 4, 5 times per week, and you're following all the rules perfectly. All the eat less, move more BS that you've been seeing online for the past however long, you're following all those rules perfectly. But the only thing is you're not losing a single pound and you're just spinning your wheels. You're feeling frustrated, you're feeling fatigued, terrible sleep, you're irritable, you have just terrible energy, you go out to eat and you gain the weight right back and you're just stuck. You're trapped in a vicious cycle where you see yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself you need to get in shape, so you start a new diet. First, you're full of motivation, so you cut your calories super low, start eating bland-ass chicken and broccoli, and you start a little bit of cardio. And yeah, you lose a few pounds and you feel hopeful within the first couple of weeks. Then the plateau hits. Then your weight stops moving, so you push even further, cut your calories even lower, maybe start doing even more cardio. And eventually your energy crashes, your hunger spikes, your cravings get out of control, and then you give up. And then you gain it all back, maybe even more, and the cycle repeats. For instance, Mitch, construction business owner, was eating 1,400 calories a day on the left right here, fatigued, starving, and still had zero results to show for it. Or Joe, a 36-year-old sales executive, was eating 1,800 calories on the left right here, was exhausted every single day by 3 p.m., and had nothing to give his family when he got home from work. Or Andrew, a 53-year-old father of 4 daughters, was eating 1,700 calories and feeling like a fraud of a role model because he couldn't figure out his fitness and health. Or Wayne, a 47-year-old senior VP who came to us eating 1,900 calories, avoiding networking events because he was embarrassed by the way he looked when he took his shirt off. Every single one of these guys had lost something by doing it on their own for as long as they had been the wrong way. But here's the real cost. Because this isn't just about a number on a scale, I want to ask you something and just be brutally honest. When you look at yourself, are you proud of what you see? Or do you avoid looking at yourself completely? Because your wife doesn't care about another expensive vacation if you're too self-conscious to enjoy it. Your kids don't need another expensive toy. They need a dad who's confident enough to play with them at the pool. And here's what nobody talks about. That lack of confidence is bleeding into your professional life. You're not showing up the same level of authority and presence that you could have. You're leaving money on the table because confidence drives results in everything that you do. So now let's dive into why you're stuck and the science behind how your body actually burns calories. So your metabolism is made up of 4 main quadrants, the largest being your basal metabolic rate, which makes up your essential body functions like breathing, blood flow, thinking, sleeping, organ function. This is what keeps you alive. And that is made up of 60 to 70% of how you burn calories every single day. And the next would be your non-energy activity thermogenesis, which is your non-planned exercise, the stuff you don't think about actually doing, like walking, moving around, fidgeting, maybe typing on your keyboard. Then you have your thermic effect of food, which is the energy and the calories it takes you to actually digest and break down that food. And then you have your exercise activity, which is 5 to 10% of how you burn calories, like working out and your cardio, where you guys focus. The problem being is that this is only accounting for 5 to 10% of how you burn calories on a larger level. Where we focus and why we get 5 times more fat loss than the rest of the industry is because we focus on the largest parts that move calorie burn. This is where our clients focus: non-energy activity thermogenesis, thermic effect of food, and your BMR, which equals 5 times more fat loss. So when you cut your calories drastically, there's a starvation response that occurs called metabolic adaptation. So your body basically thinks it's starting to starve, right? It's a starvation response that is made up of a millennium of evolution of the human body. Basically, you cut your calories super low, the body anticipates it's starving, so it downregulates all the most important parts of your metabolism, your basal metabolic rate, which makes up 67% of how you burn calories. But that's what keeps you alive, like breathing, blood flow, sleeping, organ function. It starts to downregulate that 67%. What happens then is that your body starts to hold on to all the calories that you give it to supply what actually keeps you alive. That's why you hit a plateau, you can't lose weight, and then when you eat more food, you gain that weight back rapidly because your metabolism has degraded over time. So if we were to put this into a graph, there's a direct correlation between the food you eat and your actual BMR as well. But what happens is that every diet that you do, you make it worse. You add on to the systematic inflammation. You add on to the cortisol. You add on to the gut that's actually bloating. Because the effects of caloric restriction, when it comes down to a scientific perspective, is that like when you drop your calories drastically, yes, initially you lose weight. But then you hit the metabolic adaptation and you hit a plateau. Then you cut your calories again. And you repeat the process till you absolutely crash. What happens next is your body starts sending alarm signals that never turn off called chronic inflammation and systematic inflammation. And this is where you're currently at. High cortisol, high inflammation, bloated, and still stuck. This is why you can't eat a normal meal and not gain 5 pounds the next day. This is why you're eating less than what your wife is eating right now. Then this is why you feel absolutely exhausted, because your body's sending alarm signals everywhere trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And attack onto it and make it even worse, when you starve yourself, you start to lose muscle tissue, which is an incredibly big problem as a male, because the most important part of the male human anatomy is muscle tissue. It allows you to eat more food. It's very glucose absorbent. It allows you to live longer. It helps with bone decay. And most importantly, it takes 8 calories just to sustain 1 pound of muscle tissue. On the opposite end, it takes 2 calories to sustain 1 pound of body fat. So the National Institute of Health did a study that said it's even worse to lose muscle tissue than it is to lose body fat. So put that into perspective. It's worse for you as a male to lose muscle tissue than it is to lose body fat. And when you starve yourself, your body drastically starts to eat at the muscle tissue. That's why your metabolism gets even further in the hole. That's why when you eat on the weekends with the wife or you go on vacation, you gain 5 to 10 pounds automatically, because you're destroying your metabolism and you've officially broken your metabolism. So the solution to this is called metabolic priming. This is what we do differently and what has set us apart from the rest of the industry, with the unique metabolic approach that we use with each and every single one of our clients that has resulted in a 97.42% client satisfaction rate. This is the scientific approach that we use with each and every single one of our clients. And what it is, what metabolic priming is strategically manipulating carbohydrate intake to optimize the body's metabolic processes, particularly for fat burning and energy production. It's enhanced fat burning on the mitochondrial level to optimize energy production, support muscle growth and repair, and it's a very individualized approach. So yes, I said mitochondrial energy production because we focus all of our efforts on repairing the metabolism from the mitochondrial level, how your body actually transfers energy and ATP to be used properly. And I know you heard me say carbohydrates, and I know you're probably thinking right now, it's like, well, aren't carbohydrates bad? That's not the issue, because carbohydrates actually quite specifically actually produce more energy, right? Your body's primary source of energy is carbohydrates. So when we look into your metabolism and how carbohydrates affect each and every single quadrant, is carbohydrates give you more energy that provide essential energy needed to fuel spontaneous and physical activities, which increase NEAT. So carbohydrates correlate to the parasympathetic nervous system through their influence on blood sugar and neurotransmitter production. So carbohydrates influence serotonin levels, which impact sleep, mood, appetite. And so carbohydrates also influence the body's cortisol levels, which reducing cortisol levels is the main priority when it comes to optimizing your metabolism. And then most importantly is that impacting conversion of T4 to T3. So what T3 is your biologically active metabolic processes in your thyroid, right? Your active thyroid hormone, which is T3. So there's a direct correlation between carbohydrate intake and T3 production, right? The more carbohydrates you eat, the more active thyroid hormone your body uses. The less calories that you eat, the less T3 your body has. And then if we look at this on an actual scientific level, the thermic effect of each macromolecule, with carbohydrates being a 10% thermic effect, which means that it's the second most biologically active thermic effect of food when it comes to the three macronutrients. So here's a 3-step scientific process that we use with each and every single one of our clients that comes to us. The first thing we do is we strategically implement macronutrients based on biology. Why we do this is because that reduces cortisol, or the stress hormone. It reduces systematic inflammation, turns the body's alarm systems off. It improves digestion, and it improves energy and mitochondrial function. So let me read you this short excerpt online about macronutrients, right? Protein, fats, and carbohydrates influence the body's composition by providing energy for metabolism, building and repairing tissues, and influencing fat and muscle mass. Protein is vital for muscle synthesis, while fats are crucial for hormone production and cell function, and carbohydrates provide the body's primary energy source for daily activities and exercise. Optimizing the body's composition requires a balanced intake of all three macronutrients tailored to the individual goals, activity levels, and metabolism, rather than relying on a single macronutrient. I know you're thinking right now, well, I've never tracked macronutrients, or maybe you have. First of all, we teach how to track macronutrients very easily. Most of our clients who've never tracked macronutrients in their life, we teach them how to do it within 2 to 3 days. All right. So step 2 is we strategically increase calories with weekly biological feedback. And what this means is our clients check in once per week. It's just a quick submission in the morning before they head to work. And what we do is look at how they look, their actual body composition, but also their biological feedback, like energy, hunger, digestion, sleep, muscle tissue. And we're able to make actual data-driven decisions based upon what their body is telling us. This is why we make such great progress. So the formula for fat loss for us is strategic carb intake, lowers inflammation, leads to higher metabolism, which leads to more fat loss. So what this looks like at an actual data-driven perspective is that client comes to us, let's say it's you right now, under 2,000 calories, and your BMR is just absolutely shot. And so what we do is we first of all try to raise these calories based upon feedback. And each week as you check in, we make minuscule adjustments, and so we never hit a plateau. Because that's how you never hit a plateau, is you make weekly adjustments based upon biological feedback. And each week as they check in, we raise it again, right? We raise it again. And we're making small minuscule adjustments and raising your basal metabolic rate as we're raising the calories. We're keeping the cardio low, so we're not creating a ton of inflammation, and we're raising the calories each week. So what this looks like and how we actually lose weight is that I want you to think about it like this. Strategic increase, your metabolism actually starts to recover. So as you start to actually raise your food intake, right, we start to have a higher metabolism, which actually creates an actual bigger deficit because our metabolism is going stronger and burning harder, like a fire that's burning, than the actual food that you're eating. So for reference, here's what this actually looks like with screenshots from within our community within just the last week of clients that are in their metabolic priming phase. So Alex, eating 300 calories more and training less on the right. Glenn, 20 pounds down, eating more food. Lance, down 7 pounds, eating 500 more calories per day. Mikey hit a new low at 350 carbs, currently up 800 calories. Joe, 200 carbs versus 400 carbs, and a 22-pound difference. And then Bryant, 1,000 more calories per day, down 25 pounds, doing no cardio. So basically your BMR just comes back to life. When you give your body enough fuel, your BMR increases, which means you burn more calories at rest. Your thyroid function improves because more carbohydrates lead to higher levels of T3. Your testosterone increases because more muscle tissue means you have a higher testosterone count. Your insulin sensitivity improves, your blood sugar drops, and you get your life back, right? And just from a screenshot from our client roles. Hey guys, I want to share my lab results after 3.5 months in the program and 3 months of metabolic priming. My glucose dropped from 90 to 80, and my A1C went from 5.6 to 5.3. My inflammatory markers dropped as well. I was low-carb carnivore before and even fell into pre-diabetic category in the last 3 years. So it's official. I'm a covenant of this method. Here's another client. Went to the doctor, and my A1C is down from 11.7 to 5.6. Diabetes is slowly going away. So what you guys don't understand is that the more energy that we give your body, the higher your metabolism is, your body starts to improve all of these health defects, insulin sensitivity, blood sugar, heart disease, borderline type 2 diabetes. We start to reduce that. So let's talk about what happens next, because Now that we have more calories under our belt, now we have leverage to create strategic fat loss, right? Because, okay, here's what you currently used to do. You used to drop your calories super low and you used to go to 1,800, 1,700, 1,600. Maybe you went to 45 minutes of cardio, 50 minutes of cardio, all while your BMR is absolutely shot. Here's what metabolic priming does. Because now that we have 3,000 calories, we have more calories under our belt after we just lost 20, 30, 40 pounds eating more food. What can we do now? Is we can actually drop these calories and create even a bigger of a deficit using calories and using cardio. So think about it like this. The metabolic priming phase, we're arming our tool belt with resources to create more deficits from later to come. All while now, we have an optimized BMR. This is why we see so much fat loss. This is why clients on our program are losing 100, 160, 165, 200 pounds with us, because this is how we do it. We understand the metabolism, metabolic processes, and that we need to nurture our metabolism in a correct way. For instance, here's our client, Jake. Jake got shredded on the right here, eating 2,700 calories a day. We got his calories up to almost 4,700 during the priming phase. Then we lowered them to 2,700 for the fat loss. So imagine how much more sustainable that is than trying to survive on 1,400 calories. And this is the start to the finish of his entire program. 2,200 calories per day on the left, 2,700 calories per day on the right, 22 pounds down. Still eating more food. So this entire process is not only predictable, but it's also repeatable, right? Because you prime your metabolism into a spot where you can actually reduce the calories and create more leverage. And then once you get lower in those calories, you maintain or you sustain it, or you start and you repeat the metabolic priming phase. So you're basically lowering the food until your metabolism starts to drop, because scientifically it will. That's just how your body works. And then once you've hit that point when your BMR has down-regulated, you prime your metabolism once again. This is how you see so much fat loss come out of our program. So now that you know what metabolic priming is, the science behind metabolic priming, and why we've saw so much success in this industry this far, let me be very clear about the type of man we're actually looking to work with and who this is actually for. Because this isn't just for everybody. We're looking to work with the top 1% of men. This is why this is called the 1%. It's because we're searching for the men who actually take this stuff seriously, who actually want to dive in, do the hard stuff, have the grit and the grace, and the respect in every room they step in. So if you're a career-driven man, tired of looking average despite all the success you've had in every area of your life, this is for you. If you're a business owner who wants to command respect in every single room that you step in, this is for you. If you're the executive, tired of being the soft guy in an expensive suit, this is for you. Or if you're the father who wants his kid to see an actual example of what discipline and strength look like, this is for you. And if you're ready to stop making excuses and start looking like the successful, disciplined person you actually are, this is for you. But if you're looking for a quick fix or a cheap Band-Aid solution to a fat loss problem, you're not our guy. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, this isn't for you. And if you're okay with being average, despite having all the resources to be elite, this isn't for you. We only work with men who are serious, who understand that this is an investment in themselves and their family, who are done making excuses and ready to do the actual freaking work. And here's even more proof on what we do actually works. This is Doug. He's 164 pounds down, eating 1,000 more calories a day. And here's what he said.
44 years old. I got a six-pack and bicep vein, like stuff I never would have imagined. Eating more food, 1,000 calories more a day, and eating carbs. Like I was on keto subconsciously for like 2 years. And then all of a sudden I'm like, man, I get to eat rice. I'm eating bagels. I don't even know. How am I losing weight? Everything was tailored. And the checkups every week, it was, how are you doing? Is this working? Is this working? If it's not, let's change this here, or let's try this exercise. Let's increase the steps or cardio. And everything was tailored to me specifically. You got to try the program like Adam's that works. It's tailored for you. You and Nick have been awesome. I mean, it's life changing. I'm thankful for you guys for what you've done for me and my family and my community.
Here's Dan. He's 58 years old, eating 1,000 more calories a day. And here's what he said.
I thought it was insane.
Six-pack abs up 1,000 calories as well.
Yeah. The carb manipulation and the benefits of it long term. Feel better, you sleep better, you have more energy. You guys lay it all out nice and simple. You educate, and to be honest, you hold us accountable, but you give weekly feedback too. The community is incredible.
Here's Nathan, a 48-year-old business owner, eating 900 calories more, and what he said.
Adam, I mean, I trust you as far as I can throw you, and right now it's probably pretty far. So, changed my life, man. For the last 20 years, nobody ever thought a carb was a good thing until I met Adam. And it's like, carbs are life, man. This is how we do it. Like, groundbreaking information for me. Some of my buddies are like, dude, there's no way you have abs. And I'll pull my shirt up, and they're just like, holy shit, dude. Like, what? When you're fit and you're in shape and you command a room, I mean, it's really something. It's something else. It's cool. Yeah. It's not your work. It's not your family. It's not your finances. The only person that's standing in your way is you. And you just got to get out of your own way.
Here's Ryan, a former Marine, down 40 pounds, eating 1,500 more calories. And here's what he had to say.
Ridiculous amounts of weight was just falling off, and I was eating more than I had been eating for quite some time. I remember being shocked when we started, and you completely blew me away. It's like, no, you need to eat more. And you started making me eat more, but I was losing weight left and right. Like, I remember checking in and just being shocked every time I checked in. I lost more weight. I lost more weight. What you have built here is something truly amazing and truly special. After everything that's happened, I lost a lot. Mm-hmm. And I will say, and I can say with complete and total confidence, going through this program with you all and being a part of this group has completely 100% changed my life for the better and given me back something that I thought would never come.
And here's John, a 53-year-old ER doctor who's eating 1,100 more calories per day, and what he had to say.
Hey, bonehead, eat carbs, eat more and get the results that I want. I can't make this stuff up. It doesn't make any sense. The results speak for themselves. I'm looking better than I was in my 20s, my 30s. It was probably one of the easiest things I've ever had to do, was because I didn't have to give up anything. Walking into a room, fitting my jackets better. And if you do the program, you'll get the result. It's a fact.
So now you have a life-changing, monumental decision to make right in this exact moment. You are right here. Path one, just keep doing what you've already been doing. Ignore all the science I just showed you on what you should be doing and what you're doing wrong, and just keep doing what you've been doing, fighting your metabolism, hitting plateaus. Keep teaching your kids that settling is acceptable and that it's okay to look average. And 5 years from now, you're in worse shape, less energy, more health problems that could have been prevented. Or right now, you could fix the problem for good while you still have the capability to do so. You rebuild your metabolism using metabolic priming, you get the body that matches your success, you become the man your kids brag about, the man your wife is proud to stand next to, and 5 years from now, you're in the best shape of your goddamn life. You have sustainable results because the decisions you make in this moment and right now are going to be the tale that plays in 20 years, because the decisions you make right now in your 40s and 50s are what is going to set the precedent of your 70s and 80s. Are you going to be the vital, active grandfather that can run around and still play? Or are you going to be health dependent, in bedridden, with major health complications? The decisions you make right now is going to dictate what happens next. Listen, if you're ready to finally get the body that matches your success and who you're supposed to be, click below right now. You'll see a short application that takes about 3 minutes to fill out. If you qualify, we'll invite you to a call. We'll show you exactly how we can fix your metabolism, what it's actually going to look like for you, and how we can get you the body that you've been chasing using an actual scientific approach that is predictable, that has a 97.42% client satisfaction rate. But this isn't for everybody. We only want to work with men who are serious about investing in themselves and getting real life-changing results. This isn't for guys looking for quick fixes or cheap Band-Aid solutions. This is for men who understand that their body is the foundation for everything else we want to achieve. This is for the 1% of men, the top 1% of men who take it seriously. The application takes 3 minutes. If you qualify, we'll show you exactly how to get lean eating more food. It sounds crazy, but you've already seen the results. You've heard the testimonials. So stop settling for average when you have the resources to become elite. Your kids are watching, your wife is watching, and most importantly, you're watching. What are you going to do about it? Apply below now.